Welcome back, Internet. It's me, your boy. Welcome back to another episode of some guy on YouTube working on his car. This may come as a surprise to you today, but I am not working on a Toyota. I am working on this. This right here is my 1971 Ford Maverick. You're probably asking yourself, Andrew, how many cars do you have? Answer, none of your business. I have a passion and I follow it. But honestly, at this point, trucks would have been cheaper. It's got a V8 302, the Ford 9-inch rear end. A little bit of backstory, I got this off of some old guy in his backyard. Titled, but it had no drive shaft and no interior whatsoever. And so I bought it, got a drive shaft cut and put into it, made an interior, or slap shot an interior together, and here it is. So I have some goals for this car. Eventually it's going to evolve into a full-on build, but for now I'm just focusing on getting it to run. And here's the thing. So the issue with this thing is not like most of my other cars. It actually runs, drives, starts, takes off. Is the cooling. So this engine setup produces a lot of heat, and it has this massive radiator, aluminum. I think it's single pass, and it should get the job done. However, the fan burnt out on me, so I have to replace that. I'm going to keep this radiator. I gotta replace this fan. There's that itty bitty little bit of clearance. The guy who set it up last time, I don't know, I guess he was comfortable with that. I'm not. I got a bunch of new parts. I'm going to replace all this. New water pump, new pulley, and I got a new fan. Hopefully that'll work. And I got to rewire all this and also clean this up, because I mean that's just gross and dangerous. And yeah. So here's all the parts I need to get this job done today. I have my box of wires and fuses that I need for rewiring the fan. I have this on the internet. It's pretty notorious. This is from a 95 Ford Taurus, and I've read a lot of hot rodders, drag racers, and like hill climbers will use these things to cool their car. This is like a cheap alternative than like it's like $60 instead of like $200-300 for a Radiator Fan high performance. And the engine in that thing is actually a Ford 302, and I'm not sure which engine or which car it come out of, but the Ford 302 like hadn't changed for like decades. So I went with an 85 Bronco water pump, which should give us some clearance, better than the old long neck that's on there, an 85 temp sensor. And then also I went and ordered this. This is made out of stainless steel. It's a water pump pulley. It's from CVF Racing. The reason why I did that is I plan on eventually converting to an all CVF front belt drive system. But before I can start on any of this, if you look here, the holes don't really line up. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this pattern onto the back of this. You mean I forgot concrete? Just go back. Take that out. It's very important to measure things out, kids, before you order parts. This pulley that I ordered, it fits perfectly on the water pump and everything, but the only issue is it's slightly bigger diameter than the old style pulley, and so it's making contact with the crank pulley, so it can't fit. For those of you that don't know, this is not a stock setup. This is just some hodgepodge parts that someone put together, and I'm trying to make the best out of it. And I really want to keep this radiator. I'm not going to replace it. But the pulley pretty much kills it for today. Also, another thing, this was the old fan. I don't know what happened with this thing, but it just, I don't think it's supposed to do that. It will not turn whatsoever. So this motor is, it fits perfectly. Look at all that clearance.
Hello.
Hey, buddy. Crank pulley came in. CVF Racing. Oh, would you look at that? Beautiful. If that doesn't do the trick, I don't know what will. The love of the baby Jesus is finally in. That was way more work than I expected it to be. And the original water pump wasn't even broken. I just wanted more space. And here we are, a whole new front end almost. So I got the CVF water pump pulley and crank pulley on. Alright, it only took 3 weeks of searching and problem solving, but I finally got it done. All those parts and all that time just to give me 2 extra millimeters of clearance. Yep, this is success though. I got a bigger fan, gonna give me a lot more air. I got more room now, and I kept the radiator, so I'm pretty happy with it. All that's left now is I gotta start rewiring the box, the relay, tie in the temp sensor, and then I got a set of gauges from, like, you know, O'Reilly's, and I'm going to wire them into the dash in the car. We have an emergency.